Everything that spirals is in formation with the universe. Everything that spirals is in connection to nature's force of relevancy. When the sun is releasing sunlight, which is energy, in the form of information, it is released in a spiraling sequence so that the carbon or melanin that it impregnates with this information is in perfect harmony with the rhythm of the sun's heartbeat. We are sun people, and because the sun consists of melanin, which is dark matter, this is considered our oldest ancestors or our oldest elders. This is where the extraterrestrials dwell. We have beings who are in our bloodline living in the sun, typing in the wisdom which is being released into our genetic codes by way of the sunlight, because we are the sun people who study white people. And when you study white people, you will find that the rhythm of the melanin that they do have does not spiral. They spiral on a flat line. This is why they have no rhythm. They have no soul. Do you get what I'm saying? When you study the biological sequences of some primates, you will see that their DNA does not spiral. You remember when the teacher used to tell you that we came from monkeys? Well, if you shave a monkey, it is pale. So who really came from parts of a monkey? Monkeys don't have nappy hair. Monkeys have straight hair. Go and look for yourself. That is a fact. Our melanin is being attacked. The foods that we eating is shutting down the melanin. The music we listen to is shutting down the melanin. Look at how the DNA spiral of hip-hop used to spiral in consciousness with our black heartbeat. The best hip-hop to listen to is created between your heartbeat and the sun, because it is the sun that initiates the synchronicity of the frequencies between its heartbeat and yours. We all like to talk about the FEMA camps, right? But what you don't know is the FEMA camps is not just some camps where they taking people for no reason and setting them there. The FEMA camps consist of cloning facilities. Oh yeah. The FEMA camps have certain facilities there where they are taking homeless people to extract information from their DNA to use in coordinates to the change that is going on in the universe that the European know is making their energy extinct. When I say their energy extinct, I'm talking about a third dimensional density element that is keeping them alive, that is keeping that inferior melanin, which is in their physiological system, at current base with the universal heartbeat. So now, once this is disconnected, this will be it. I'm not talking about death on a physical plane. I'm talking about death on a mental and spiritual plane. But because you have to remember that the third dimensional density is leaving. The fourth is coming in. Most will be stuck there, meaning your mind will not be able to cohabitate with the other dimensions that is seeping into this dimension to actually initiate or manifest new visuals or new colors, new sound, new thoughts. Do you get what I'm saying? While the administrative headquarters of FEMA is located in Atlanta, Georgia, with various branches, offices across America, the tactical headquarters are located in a gigantic underground facility near Bluemont, Virginia. This site is called Mount Weather and has also been referred to as the Western Virginia Office of Controlled Conflict Operations. It is called the Western Virginia Office of Controlled Conflict Operations, a name that will appear most accurately descriptive as you read on. I'm going to go further. The federal government took control of the land in 1903 and used it for various projects until 1936. This is when the U.S. Bureau of Mines started a major digging and construction project that wound up being a literal underground city. It is complete with streets and sidewalks, private apartments, cafeterias, hospitals, supply stores, and even its own mass transit system. And furthermore, it has a water purification system fed by lakes and underground springs, and of course its own power plant and sewage disposal systems. This is quite a contrast to the visible above ground structures. I told y'all they had inner earth facilities. They have inner earth civilizations where they are taking most of your family members who have indoctrinated themselves into the military structure, and they are coming home cloned. And they are using the natural body to remote control the clone from the facilities that they have in these inner earth facilities. It sounds crazy. All this is located on a beautiful landscape and shows no resemblance of anything really strange. Oprah Winfrey have some type of, she have some stabilities, and she actually invests in some underground cities. This is where all of your good water has gone to. This is where all your good air is being sucked to. Do you get what I'm saying? And beneath the unsuspected ground level complex is what is often called the Doomsday Hideaway. It's called the Doomsday Hideaway. This huge mystery mountain of secrecy has gone virtually unnoticed by the public, and even most members of Congress are unaware or very unfamiliar with it. It is a self-contained, fully equipped and operational headquarters for the hidden parallel government of the United States and more. You have governments underground in the earth, which is controlling these civilizations. And these governments and these underground facilities meet with the governments in the United States, meet with the governments in Europe, meet with the governments in Africa. Annually, when they telling you they are going to the moon, or whenever they saying they're going to space stations, they are really going under your feet to meet up with each other, to create or to engage in the Pegasus project, which they create, or this is where they advise their proper Pegasus projects of next presidents. This is where they choose their next presidents, their next governors. You have to understand that most of your family members that goes into the military, they don't know that they are not, they think they are going into the inner earth. They are being remote controlled. When they take these physicals and they're giving them these foods, and then they go to sleep in these bunkers, they snatching their body, taking them into the inner earth, and creating identical bodies to bring back or to send back into public, and to use them as public altercations, stage public events, such as the Oklahoma bomber event. It was staged. Timothy McVeigh was in the military, and they sent him out here to stage this event because at the time that Timothy McVeigh blew up the building, this was a new function of the universe which was sending energies in by way of a paradigm shift that will raise the psychological consciousness of the melanated body. So they had to take our minds off the universal heartbeat. Remember, your heartbeat is the universe's heartbeat. So as soon as you take your mind off of the heartbeat of the universe and it's placed into fear, you can no longer accept the new energies that these full moons or blood moons or new moons or paradigm shifts is given to your DNA to open up that pre-encoded consciousness or intelligence inside of your biological structure. Now, here's a list of some of the departments and agencies that are housed within the heavily protected mountains. The Department of Agriculture, Commerce, Health, Education and Welfare, Housing and Urban Development, Interior, Labor, State, Transportation and Treasury. Some of the federal agencies located within are the FCC, Selective Service, the Veterans Administration, the Federal Power Commission, the U.S. Postal Service, and the Federal Reserve, which, by the way, is not controlled by the federal government. Another little known fact is that the headquarters for the World Bank is located in the Safe Haven. FEMA, who also heads up the Multi-Jurisdictional Task Force, a national and international military and police force, which is a story within itself. It is the commanding agency over the Mount Weather Operations. And in the event of a national crisis, which nowadays may be anything the president decides it to be, FEMA takes full control of the executive branch of the government and rules the nation with all the powers of martial law. You all think that these are human beings or these are mankind or regular people that's running your governments, when this is not true. These are beings from other planets that is under your feet. They had to take this. See, these people know the science of direction. So they had to put your left brain and right brain on the opposite direction to take away your up and your down. So when you look at outside of yourself, you are actually going against the laws of nature or the laws of direction. These are the sciences. When you are looking inside, you are really looking outside. But when you are looking outside, you are blinding your capabilities to look inside, because you are actually blocking who you really are. And who you really are is everything that is outside of yourself, because the outside of yourself exists in another position. So when they telling you that up, so when they telling you to look up, you must look down. And when they telling you to look down, you must look up. The suns expand into a non-etheric rhythm for 9,000 years before becoming a planet. Just as the woman, who is the very manifest of the universe, creates life within 9 months of gestation, and on the journey of producing, she produces within the womb a non-etheric being, which is the child or the planet in her universe. Dreams is the energy of thoughts from other minds within the confounds of the universe. The woman has a spiritual womb, which is the constellations, and she has within it 2 chromosomes, which is Sirius A and Sirius B. The Immaculate Conception is the atoms being able to produce in the womb of the universe another atom without any intercourse with the vibrational frequencies of the sun, or which is the man. The sun, S-U-N, converts it to S-O-N. This is a synonym. Metaphysics. The constellations illuminates throughout the horizon of its zenith to open up the third shift, which is the third eye, which sends information into the third dimension, earth body, to shift and resurrect the Christ energy within those melanated beings who reside on its plane as the extraterrestrial DNA carriers. Earth is only a vacation to collect missing codes in a greater mind. I'm going to say that again. Earth is only a vacation to collect missing codes and data in a greater mind somewhere far off in the thoughts of other species. You have to look and examine closely and simplify life and death, which is a body operating on higher self and lower self. We melanated beings are none other than a newborn universe sent into the illusion, which is the matrix, to have a human experience to transform or transport to other views of existence. We are a human universe, creating other universal bodies to build other revolutions in our far-out evolutions. I would like to give great honor to the black woman, who is emphatically misunderstood when it comes to her importance within the society. And we should really start to take into account, pertaining to black liberation, that it is the black woman in this vital time of transformation who will be the distributor of the warriors that will enter this dimension to manifest the platform for the transition of our people. And I don't care what us men think or how we assume superiority against her to be, because it is science that proves the comparison of the two and produces the facts that we as men are only 1 X chromosome bearing beings, and that the woman is 2 X chromosome bearing beings, which when you compare the two renders a verdict of us men being defined as the inferior, not in a weak way, but in the way of the protector of that which is the superior. Not saying that we are not superior in certain aspects, but when it comes to certain spiritual instincts within certain parameters, it is the black woman who has the extra interdimensional tool that, when used correctly and with respect through the act of her partner or her counterpart, which is the sun, S-U-N, or her son, the S-O-N, or her ma son or may son, can alter the vibrations of the genetically inferior species who we know as cave people or Europeans. She can wipe them out, but we got to respect her. This is why they know the sciences of dividing the feminine and masculine. This is why they have to keep the masculine out of the house of the feminine, because they know when those energies are together during full moons at a certain time, a specific date, when these other dimensions seep in to our minds, that we can cause terrible catastrophes. Yeah, remember what Marcus Garvey said? He said he was coming back as a whirlwind. But he understood the sciences of past, present, and future. It wasn't that he was leaving and coming back. He was saying that he was leaving here to become a whirlwind. He graduated from human form into a catastrophe form. Now, I just want to get one thing straight with our people, because some of us are quick to run to be in defense of these white people, and most likely it is the ones who are looking for the acceptance and trying to get in the bed with the white woman, thinking that it will make things better. But let me tell you something. You can butt dance and brown nose all you want. You can beg and bow to their approval. But history yesterday and today has already proven that these people can never go anywhere on this earth without initiating a war to intercept the physical resources of every culture, as history has proven. Not only the physical resources, but try to get the spiritual resources, which is certain substances that is unfolding within the children that the black woman is giving birth to this day. So to all of my black brothers of warrior DNA, we need to create barrier-breaking solutions to get back in line with the frequencies of our beautiful black woman. Now, scientists and NASA is now experiencing distinct sound waves in the universe. And we as so-called black people are made up of everything that the universe consists of in the microcosm force field of our DNA, which is the atoms that has in it the electrons, protons, and neutrons that I spoke about. So if this is what established the you, or so if this is what established the part of the universe, then the sounds that they are hearing are the cells of the universe becoming a higher vibration of itself, which means that our DNA is changing also if we are the universe, correct? The government knows that the brain that we have, which is 10% operated due to the foods that they process and the satellites that are sending electromagnetic waves to attack our cells. Now our brain is producing a distinct vibration that is reaching its zenith with the unseen entities of evolution within the systems of us melanated beings. And the blood cells are molecular structures of rhythm when in contact with the light of the sun, which then vibrates and creates nutrients to communicate with the frequencies that travels throughout your body. The sun gives you all of your nutrients naturally, and this is why the government sprays the chemtrails. Again, they are afraid of what is coming. They are afraid of the new thoughts that you are thinking unconsciously when you are sleeping. And this is why they have to intercept those extraterrestrial entities in the form of your thoughts that is reciprocate in the form of you that is coming back as the great old ones, as my teacher Bobby Hemmett said, to attack the mind of those who are genetically modified beings. Your existence alone is an existence that is present on so many levels. And until we understand this very important key to liberation on a much more spiritual plane, as far as our establishment of consciousness, we will forever use the illusion in which we live at this present moment to be a substitute for the reality toward our destination. When you look up into the universe, you are looking into a mirror, because everything in the universe is a scientific evolution of facts that consist of the very elements that you have evolving within yourself. Why do I say this? Well, in the atmospheric jurisdiction of the universe, you have trillions upon trillions of molecules and vibrations, which makes up sound and frequency. And the heart of these elements is something that is called atoms. These atoms consist of electrons, protons, and neutrons, of which carry 6 of the components that is in the structure of something else called dark matter, which is inside of you. And when you combine all of these elemental substances, you get melanin or carbon, known as in the ancient world of Kemet or Egypt as mythological deities such as Ra or Christ, the Christos, who is the sun god, or the sun, S-O-N, which is the S-U-N of God in Christianity. Why is Ra described as melanin? Ra is the rising of the great one from the east part of the brain, who has a lower self known as Set, who in Christianity is known as Satan. And the melanin is produced in the pineal gland inside of the brain, where there are 12 systems within the brain that follows this Christos, or the Christ, in which the 12 systems are represented as the 12 disciples who follows the Christ energy, which is rising on its third day, or what is called in the brain the third eye, or the pineal gland. Whenever you hear scientists say that they are experiencing distinct movements and sounds in space, you must remember that you are the sole substance of the universe, which means you consist of the same universal DNA. And these distinct sounds and movements is the paradigm shift within your DNA, which Europeans fear because they have no connection or positive communication with the universe. Just analyze how the sun itself initiates skin cancer within their structure. It is because they have no neurological transmitters within the inferior melanin that they carry to convert the sunlight into energy by way of photosynthesis. But we as so-called black people have pheomelanin, eumelanin, and neuromelanin, which endows us with the ability to convert sunlight into energy, and also when the light is carried into our cells, it produces the vitamin D and other nutrients to sustain us. But the Europeans have knowledge of this, and this is why the government is spraying chemtrails in low-income communities in America to block the sun so that we will not receive the sound wave communication that we need to keep ourselves in cosmic rhythm with the universal flow of electricity. Now, in mathematics, you get your real solution and formula when you have broken down everything into its lowest common denominator. There's no such thing in the reality realm as an inside or outside. When you follow doctrines of such a thought, it causes you to see yourself only in a vehicle, which we call earth, which is none other than a body that allows you to see both worlds and itself to a certain extent. This is an illusion that divides you and will keep you from being able to see that part of you in the sun, moon, and the stars. These things are the systems in your body known as the organs, which is the same in the universe. The universe has organs: the sun, the moon, and the stars. The solar system is the soul of the universe, as the universe is the soul of the third dimensional structure of the body that you are in. The suns expand into a non-etheric rhythm for 9,000 years before becoming a planet. We all have the power to harmonize and to put into synchronicity the change that is about to come, that is now fulfilling the manifestation of our existence. One love.